Okay, it's time to talk about things that we did in the yesterday of the day, which is known as the World Championship Regional
Yeah,
2013.
Chicago and things, and oh man, was it a thing, except not really a thing. Okay, so we're probably being completely incoherent here. Let's start making sense.
Yeah, let's do that. I guess we should start with what decks we brought to there.
We just
It's
someone mentioned that we were the Neapolitan of Oracle Think Tank.
So yeah, we
Chocolate,
had to.
strawberry, vanilla.
every single generic card.
I'll explain this later. Let's go. Let's just break down some one.
Oh, nothing too special. I mean,
Which is ironic considering you're the chocolate one and not vanilla.
it's just I've been playing the same damn formula for eternity now, so it's not much of a surprise. I'm just playing one of each of these in the 4 grade 3 build because I felt like it. The rest is just your usual hodgepodge of cats and full crit derp and what have you. Um, Deck did fine, even when it didn't do fine, because everyone else there was that bad.
Oh yeah, and we'll have stories for that later, though.
Yeah.
Trust us.
Right, I guess
Is
the Bell
this is the
Sisters.
Battle Sisters? Well, needless to say, I told you naysayers out there, deck is pretty beast. The only difference between last time and this time is there are 2 cats in the deck, and there's an additional waffle.
Yeah.
It tears ass, I tell you. Especially this card.
Mhm.
Use it. Not much else to say. It beats people's face so fast they don't know what to do.
Okay, so I was an idiot and I didn't print out one of those deck sheets, so I wrote that on site. Um, 2 different Cocos, 4, 2 Goddess of the Sun. She's there to negate those 20k column lines against the cross rides, and then to make numbers against the cross rides. Sakia, 2 Sakia because I originally
Were
made
they 2 different Sakiyas or
uh,
both trial deck?
both trial deck ones because they were shinier. Um, Back in the day, before everything else was released, it was Coco Sakia. That was my original Oracle Think Tank deck.
Double rare, triple rare,
Yeah.
release, and all that business.
And then so many grade 2s, 3 Tart, not 3 Wise Men, because she's going to be staying here when this gets upgraded. 3 Promised Daughter, actually used for skill in some games. 2 Mocha, same rarity, the double rare, with the Prophet's Kick will always hit. 1 Glass Save for a 3rd Mocha. And then 2 Anime Art Tom. And since I have Glacé, I obviously have Omelette, the promo and the rare. 2 different rares of Circle Mace because, unlike Battle Sisters, where they're fine swarming the field because they don't care about how much damage they take or how much damage they don't take
It's like the
because
Gold Paladins or
they
something.
have Fromage, which just sits there. For Coco, you need 2 damage, and if I was going against smart people, which I felt that I wasn't really most of the time, they would attack the rear guard and I'd be left at 1, which is what they should be doing. 4 Psychic Birds that say, oh, excuse me. And then 1 that says, what? That's not right.
So you were playing 5 psychic birds. Got it.
What? No, 3, 1. I don't know what I said before, but 4 Gingers, because ginger.
Ginger.
1 Nike, because 9 crits. 3 different draws. And then the only clan to play 4 different kinds of heals, even though these are technically the same heal. Little Witch Lulu
A little bit.
was the one card that couldn't fit an entire deck list, so I had to put her on the bottom of the sheet.
She was outside of the box.
That's
Which is
hardcore.
kind of fitting because she was an outside the box solution to this card sucking.
It's the starting Vanguard, so it's separate from the deck. Some guy actually commended me using Goddess of the Sun.
Really now.
Yeah, because it did work. It
Actually,
didn't do her limit break, but
all these decks did work. Like not one of these decks fell out before round 6.
yeah. we made it to. Oh, speaking of making top 6, prize was this Aquaphor Stack box.
Oh
Which,
yeah. If you made
yeah.
it to like round 6
Yeah,
or
we
beyond,
make the
I
round
think.
6 and beyond. You got that. It's
It's
pretty cool.
really nice. I mean, it's trigger campaign or just some sort of Japanese promo. Anyway.
Yeah, with English print on it. Make sure it's English.
I think it's Simone for Trial like
Except for
7,
it's
isn't
not.
it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the Marine Emperor box. I'm not quite sure what
It's,
the occasion for release was, but
No, but it's
there,
pretty
and
nice looking.
Theo
It's got
is
cool colors.
an awesome unit.
Yeah, he looks pretty badass, man. But I guess now is the time to start talking about our experiences.
Got there around the same time you guys were, like 9:15 when registration started at 9. Saw some familiar faces. One of which wait, never mind, that was something else. First round, I was against Dote. I'm going to assume he didn't have his second copy on turn 3 because he flipped over all 3 of his damage.
Or he's bad.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. And that was when I didn't have a grade 3 in hand. Turn 3, draw, Goddess of the Sun knows where it's at. And then rode Coco over it. I believe, I know, that game I won out of, I don't know why my SD card got removed. Yeah, oh no, that wasn't it. Second match, MLB, he rode Bedivere, so
Okay.
auto win. And he didn't get his MLB. He was a 15,000 PAL meaties. I really had half a mind to ride Goddess of the Sun at that point.
Oh my god. These people that are like,
It's
no, 4 MLB is too many when they're playing a dedicated MLB deck. And it's like, dude, come on.
My dedicated MLB deck only has 2. Yeah. But third game, lost to Dote because didn't have the momentum. Pete Persona then got 3 triggers off of it, so couldn't get off of that. And that's when I told my friends, like, oh, I got my first loss when he was out. And that's when the Free Fight side event was there. And if you haven't heard, like, Brandon Smith and his friend who won last year's regional, he was playing there. So I just cracked the jokes like, it's okay, I got 1 loss. Just 1 step closer to that buddy fight line. And they turned like, what, buddy fight? I'm like, no, it's just the Vanguard line. It's just that you fight with your buddy. I now know why people like try to crush the hopes and dreams of Brandon Smith. I just do it in a different way. Fourth game, Great Stuck Duke, who had a 13k center lane because he called starting Vanguard out. Yeah, misrode. When he got to Duke, he was at 4. I was at like 2. So he attacks with side lane. These columns weren't doing anything because I drive checked the Tom. There's Gemini right there. Intercept. Attack with Duke. Alright, he crits. All on Duke. So he has 16k Duke and a 17k side lane. Damage check. Trigger. Van. Trigger. Van. I'm 20,000. Okay, end my turn. And then, call Tom. Attack. He nulls it. Drops a 10k shield. Double crit on Tom. Done.
People are retarded. How hard is it to drop 20 on the middle and null the Tom? Jesus.
Oh, and I heard like some people were having trouble against Perfect Riser because like if you get crit sack.
Wait, say that again. What?
Some people were having trouble against Perfect Riser, but not this one
Dude.
black guy with the purple afro because he 6 damage shield so many times. Half his deck was in the soul. It sounded like they were doing their own turn because so many people were just screaming during that little side fight. I think it was
Soul.
friends.
Wait. As it stands, I don't get the people who are whining about Prism. And you're saying people were having trouble with Perfect Riser?
Oh man, I got.
I think they just all got crit sacked.
I got a story about
yeah.
Prism.
Yes. For me, I went against Perfect Riser. I was like, okay, I know I'm not going to be able to guard the center lane because for some reason, when I have to go against a giant center lane, I didn't have a null. Um, so I was like, all right, I'm at 1 damage, and he's at like 3. So he attacks with perfect visor, no guard. He heals, so he's at 2. I damage check. 3rd is heal. Okay, so I'm gonna no guard your perfect visor again. And yep. Oh no. And then the turn before that, I was like, all right, give me my 2nd damage. I healed 1 damage. Didn't ride my grade 3. Still won. This was round 6, and it was Metatron. Unfortunately, the guy had 4 rear guards turn 2, and I couldn't recover from that. So it's whatever. Didn't make it to top. I didn't make it the next round, and I was just spectating just other players, mostly on the Metatron guy. He lost to Duke. Ren is Revenger before Revengers were Revengers.
Well, you're up.
That's in a nutshell. That's what I feel. Okay. The first like 3, I don't remember because they were very bland. It's like
you beat Coco, then you beat Angel Feather, then you beat either Perfect Visor or Beast Deities.
yeah, it was something along those lines. They were.
Yeah.
Things you like.
It's like, because the Coco deck, it's like, like the person who was playing them did not know
How to do.
it well enough anyway.
Yeah. Like, the difference between that, again, the difference between this kind of Battle Sisters and Coco is you have the leeway to have swarm the field, where your advantage just explodes on turn.
And unfortunately, if I recall, that person decided not to guard my big mid-game rush at all.
And
So he got the 4 when I was at 1.
And that's... and you're obviously not going to recover from that, no matter how
And
principle.
the meta I did, I was grade locked at 0. And then I wrote Asim because I was tired of not having my waffle accessible. I still managed somehow to get myself to grade 3 and win.
It's okay. This is the second time where one of us has written a trigger and won a game.
Clearly, that's the way you're supposed to do it.
Well, whatever. At one point, he and I were like at tables 1 and 2, respectively, and the best hybrid deck ever was on table 3.
Mm-hmm. It's
At
true.
the same time.
It's true.
Timmy, if you're seeing this, I can't believe you brought Tom and Jerry, but then again, I commend you.
Oh, yeah.
But you placed 47th while I was 45th. Yeah!
So anyway, went on to the third one. I think it was the third one. Yeah, Beast Deities.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty decent at using them. I mean, he made the one mistake of guarding his Azir Dragon when he really shouldn't have, because if he didn't block it, that he would have had the 10k to block my attack. But he did it. I had enough to block all 3 of his attacks, and then he just didn't have enough, so he went down. And then I went against Aquaforce. That's when the deck went, because it decided to not give me any triggers, and I don't think it got a grade 3 for a few turns. It's the standard fare of what happens whenever I go to tournaments. Eventually,
And you died.
no.
Did
There was right before that. There was one other one I had. That was round 4. Round 5, I went against the Blood. Killed him 2 turns after I went grade 3.
Standard fare.
So it was pretty basic, you know. That was the other generic one that I misordered because I was thinking Beast Deities came after. Well, you get the point. But then,
Hard to remember things.
but then, freaking you decided not to show up ever.
Yeah, man, heroes suck a lot and pushed a guy to 5. And
Yeah, I was going against this mermaid, the prisms. This guy and his friends so convinced that the prisms are like one of the best decks ever. So we went against each other. I only have chocolate, so I have to ride it, obviously. and I never see a 2 ever. I got 3 threes in my hand, not a single 2, but somehow I pushed the guy to 5. He healed like twice, I think.
Waffle into macaron.
Yeah, I waffled into macaron. He healed twice. It still was pushing him to 5 every single time. And the only reason I couldn't win was because, well, outside of being chocolate, I stopped getting triggers because there is such thing as running out of triggers.
Drive check is kind of
It's
false.
yeah, especially when you're 6K. So he took the win, but I hope that shows how you can't just assume that something like that's gonna be like the best deck ever.
Because Dote won a technicality in Atlanta. But actually, I was noticing how a lot of people were playing Prisms.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And then I heard some people actually talking about Coral or using Coral. Like, wow, I didn't think people use that deck. And then I saw how Eternal Out of Pacifica was doing better than Prisms. Suck
I
it.
believe it's like
People think break ride equals win, and I'm like, no.
nope.
Break Ride equals just definite null.
Oh,
When you null,
oh,
we're gonna
oh.
null beforehand.
That's another thing he did.
What? Oh.
Freaking guy. Guy who got into the 6th round of the tournament, mind you. Attempted to break ride me while he was at 3 damage.
It's not as bad as discarding the Draconic Overlord for Dote.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to address right here. It's like, no offense to the people who were judging there. I'm sure they had a lot of work going on, but it's like, come on. I heard that there was a judge watching the this one fight against, I forgot what deck, and the end. And the person who was using the end used his counterblast and dropped a Draconic Overlord regular to stand him again. It just saw this but didn't notice it. Meanwhile, when I'm gridlocked on Chocolat and I have her on the field,
Out there.
two judges come up to me and are asking about it. Well, we'll try our best. But 2 judges come up here and ask me about it. It's like
As if they
they
have
forgot.
never seen this card
As
in
if
their
they've never
life.
seen Waffle in their life. It's like
Those guys must be pancake fans.
they thought that they were like thinking that can't be, that card's not out yet. It's like
That or people aren't used to superior calls of a grade higher than what the
yeah,
grade
apparently
is.
not.
Even though that's what Spike Brothers did like the whole damn time.
It just baffles me. It's like, do they not have the judges like reread all their rules and cards?
At least they fixed that freaking drive check freaking problem where it was, oh, you have to drive check first card, leave it there, add effects, leave the card still there,
I
and
don't
drive
know
check
what the hell
again.
was going on in those previous events, but
Yeah,
But
it was
they
on
fixed
the
it.
level.
Yeah,
for the most
Fix
part.
that.
Yeah, that was stupid. But it's like that shouldn't be.
I've got my story, but we'll get to it later because there's a rundown down that I have to go over.
Yep, that's
Okay,
true.
so round 1, I get paired with MLB, but the guy's just not very good. Like, he uses a Margall on his center lane when it was already 14 at my 9, so it didn't freaking matter. And then he used Wingull Brave when it was his only Royal Paladin on the field, and you know that doesn't end well. Freaking called his blasters when he only had one of them and not both of them, so he could just... So obviously I'm attacking the rearguard blasters, and he just never has a prayer, even though I get like stuck on red eye for 2 turns or something before my full moon comes along. And then I end up with a front row of full moons just somehow, all 11, because I worked my magic. Yeah, it wasn't very hard, even though it very well should have been. Round 2, I get paired with Dote. It's like, finally, I'm getting the meta, unlike everywhere else. Pretty standard affair. he gets pushed to 4 going into turn 3, so he gets spooked and just rides Dote right away instead of trying to go for a cross ride because just as planned.
Well, at that point you might as well because you'll probably won't see the light of day next turn with an Overlord.
Yeah.
I was at 1, I think, because
Yeah, you're not gonna see the light of day.
because he attacked, he hit draw heal, and that's really annoying. And then like I took the hit, he personas, and then he hits crit, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of bullshit. But my 5th damage was a heal, so I was able to take his 33k Burning Horn too without dropping anything. So excellent. And then after that turn, he never touches me again. I just sort of rolled him real
Didn't you
good.
also do a very, very dirty thing to him
I
as well?
I did. On the last turn, I didn't really have to do it, but I was counting my triggers and
You only saw 8,
comparing. Yeah, I saw like 8 altogether,
and you have 17,
including my stacked cards and
17 in the deck. Dude, I should Tsukiyomi party, man.
whatever. And yeah, I was getting down to a zone where there weren't a whole lot of cards left before the known pile. I'm just sitting there going, well, this is gonna be a double trig, so I'm just gonna put it all in the van and kill you now. And it was. So yeah.
Yeah, I was salty about that.
He was mad salty about everything. Round 3, Great Nature gets stuck on grade 0 for a turn. Whoopie-doo.
Was it to me?
No. 'Cause that's not Great Nature. It's only kind of Great Nature. And apparently it was a Bison and Animals deck, you know. But such as it is, he ended up eating a 29k Tagitsu Hime line against his Lamp Camel, and of course he's not guarding that, dead. Round 4, Beast Deities. Beast Deities were surprisingly popular, and I have to imagine it's a bit of a bandwagon effect after they won at Toronto.
I'm thinking that's the case.
I like them because they're trying to go about practice.
I mean, it's
like
a
that.
cool deck, it's a fun deck,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it's
It's just- it's
it's
incomplete.
got a very solid counterplay.
Well, it's also incomplete.
Yeah.
It's missing like a bunch of things. It's
At
like this is
any
cool,
rate-
but it's just not finished.
He goes in like real hard from the start, and I'm just sitting here going, well, okay, I miss a full moon for a turn, whatever. I poke the rears, keep him at 3, just general torment, so he didn't really have options. And then, I don't know, he's at 3, his hand has a null and 40k or so, I don't know. But going into my turn, I draw a Psychic Bird and I'm like, hey, that's just what I needed. Now I'm at my 18 cards, and I attack, he no guards, I flip the stacked double crit on him, and he's just so mad about it. Because apparently the Suki player he practiced with was completely fucking incompetent at this whole stack business. And he expected the same of everyone else. And I'm just sitting there going, really?
Wait, did you say that or something?
Yeah. He was shocked that I remembered it like it's anything special.
I think that's what he has to do with his deck.
Alright, I just want to say this quickly. I remember when I was talking with, Timothy and his friend, and we were wondering if the games are moving the way they are because the cards are better or if people are getting better. And it's something I thought I knew the answer to, but then it's like after just seeing these people playing, hearing these stories, it's making me wonder, maybe it's just because of the cards? 'Cause it seems people are not really, I'm not saying every person, I'm just saying a lot of people don't seem to be.
Generally,
It's hard to say at this point.
Man, I had a like my developments this year were worse in like nearly every way imaginable, and yet I still went ahead and made the top 8 anyway because people are still just as stupid as they were last year.
Yeah,
Then again,
it's
there
like.
were a lot of people that were newcomers, and this was the first
Yeah,
week.
there
Well,
were
I
like
understand
half of
that.
them,
I understand.
actually.
Yeah,
It's kind of impressive.
it is, and I'm not saying them in particular because obviously you can't blame them for being new. But it's like even people who've been playing since last year
Yeah.
are making like these weird ass mistakes that shouldn't be. And it's like, did they just not learn from last time? Did they just not get better, or do they just think they don't need to?
Well, by the time next year rolls around, you're the
You're gonna have to bring up your A game because this is where
because you make one tiny mistake, you're just getting killed. Because Vanguard is a game that's has a tendency to snowball really, really hard, especially post set 10. And if you don't throw down the floodgates at the exact moment you need to, you're done.
It's true. So,
Um,
I'm taking that to mean that it's like come next regional, not the stand-up one, but the fall one. It's going to be a lot of,
It's like cards are getting better, and
but it's also requiring
people
more
who
effort.
like really genuinely practice are getting better, and then everyone else is just sort of staying where they are, and the difference is really, really noticeable.
It does say something, although it does also bring the question. Certain people that got to as far as round 6, they must have sacked really
Hey,
good, man.
Last year,
It's
my
like-
round 6 out of 7, mind you, was a freaking Kagura Narukami hybrid that wasn't even good. And he kept one passing my
That's another thing too.
center lane that had like a pedal fairy, and I never actually broke it, so I was never able to sift out my hand, and I ended up in a situation where if he checked a crit, I would have died, but he didn't, and then I ended up living because I
That's
top picked
that's
Millpool.
another thing too. The one passes. I know we joke about one passes being the perfect defense because no one can ever break them, but it's
Not the case.
statistically it's going to be broken a lot. You shouldn't risk it so often. It's just a joke.
Oh yeah, I've got my story about that in a second.
I
Round
just-
5, I ended up fighting, well, classic Gold Pal, Ezel, Garmor, and it had Pretzel in there too, because, you know, why not, new cards and all that. Which is, funnily enough, pretty much the same deck I got round 5 last year, and lost to. But no, I just, I beat this one. It was pretty close just because I sent 8 triggers to the bottom in like the first 2 checks. So I was running on dry for most of the game, but I toughed that one out. It was fine. Round 6. Okay, so I don't know what is up with these prison players and being completely butt-fucked retarded, but
I know,
If you
right?
give me a prism deck, I will show you how to Ugu.
But no, you don't
no,
understand.
no, okay, so
these
I
guys.
opened total balls. Like I end up writing it to Gitsukime or something and calling Red Eye, and I don't have a grade 3, and like it's just all just awful. I call Luckbird at some point just because I had given up on doing anything ever, and that's what he's really there for. He's your oh shit button when you need something done now. But
I think before you consider, I should make a disclaimer. The people who we went against are watching and you know us, don't take it the wrong way. We're sure you're nice people. It's just, come on.
anyway, so you know, I'm just swinging desperately however I can, picking off rears, and then when he finally just runs out of things to field, you know, I swing in with my like 17k center lane, good enough. 10k guard, one pass, okay, crit. Next turn, same thing, crit. And then like I top deck a freaking 9K full moon, whatever, swing, 10K guard, crit, game, and I'm like, dude, come on, try
It's
at least.
just weird. It's like, because we always go against these guys, and this is why I said the disclaimer before. It's because, like, they should have us. Like, when I was locked on chocolate, I should not have lasted as long as I did. When that happened to you, it shouldn't have been that.
It's funny because he burned. He was really lucky too. Like he burned all 4 heals in turn 1 or something.
It's like
1 and 2. I had no business winning that game whatsoever.
it just makes me, and that's why I asked that question before. It's like, because it's like that stuff shouldn't be happening when the game's been here this long. It should be.
Round 7, get paired with Duke. I predicted this would happen, and of course, typical Duke affairs. I open, no crescent moon, whatever. Like I break the chain, and they get the full thing, even though statistics
It should be the other way
dictate
around.
that they should be missing it.
It's the unwritten law of
Like-
Duke. It always works.
Not against me, apparently.
Well, and I don't know how to tell you this,
They're
but you're a
supposed to-
sack.
They're supposed to get it like 1 game in 3.
They always
I'm
get it.
supposed to get mine like 3 games in 4. It's a colossal difference.
It's,
And
I
nope,
don't.
it just happens to me every time I fight that. So
It's
whatever.
like me going
I-
against Azel. And they use that Kirf, whatever.
gotta
They
go.
always get it.
You have to go against Canada more.
Whatever. I was mad just because I knew that was going to happen, but what can you do? And then
Top 8 cut?
no, round 8 because we had one more this year. Apparently some GP guy that I beat last year or something. Anyway, he rode Haugen and he got stuck there, so he died fast.
Haugen is not Hogan.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
And top 8 cut, oh man.
Freaking bad people.
Bitches and whores.
Had
So
freaking
that's-
people at 10 and 11 complaining to me that they missed the cut. Well, I had something to say to them, I'll tell you what.
So, that was when you had to
Alright,
turn
so
your
yeah.
dex per deck check, right? So we're like, oh, we're probably gonna miss the beginning of a round. Because we were hungry, we wanted food, so we went to McDonald's for like about half an hour, maybe 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Came back. Why are you guys not set up yet?
Yep. Still doing the
You feel
check.
like you're just talking to the judges. Why is
We're-
it just what's going on?
We're convinced that they just had a problem
They
with think
had it
tank players.
out for me or something.
Because you were the only Oracle Think Tank player to make it up to there, and it was
No,
Tsukiyomi
well, no,
lost?
like just in general,
Kinda
because like
did it yeah. So anyway, he's sitting there, like inspecting, my cards, like all my sleeves and outer sleeves, wiping gunk off them or whatever, looking for, any just little issues with them that make them identifiable. I get that you're trying to do your job, but when you say, well, he is playing OTT, you're fucking discriminating, dude.
it's like
There's hands
dude,
down. I don't care.
it's
What
just
were
who
the
you
other judges
are.
doing well?
They were sitting there.
Like I said,
occasionally he'd ask if something was okay.
right. It's
and
like, but
it's
it was
fine.
clear that they were
He was
against
being.
us.
No one else was anywhere near
Yeah.
that thorough about it. And he's acting like I ever look at my card backs at all.
I bet you Tsukiyomi burned down his village.
It was annoying as piss.
It's like, and like I said, between that and the two judges cross checking my macaron being on the field, it's like
Not to mention,
it's just
I asked about, 4 times, can I just go buy new sleeves? And I didn't get an answer until like the 4th time when I asked JD himself, the head judge. He's like, yeah, it's fine. What's with these other people not being able to tell me? God damn it.
Why is it the only Asians people know how to do common sense jokes?
And
I think he just, it's like whatever, man.
after I tell the guy,
He's
no,
cool.
I can't replace that one oversleeve. I'll just play without them. He continues to check them anyway. God, it was needlessly, nerve-wracking
was-
and tedious and everything in between.
It's
It
like-
was bullshit.
I think it's like I like the game, and I'm even fond of the tournaments. But it's like the one problem is that they are really particular about everything.
They weren't last year.
Yeah,
Not
but
give a
but
shit
but
last
but
year.
as of this stand-up challenge, it's like
Yeah.
they are really cracking down.
And I get it. It's not hard to follow correct protocol or whatever. I didn't get any warnings of any kind that whole day. Even though I very well could have, because I think in round 3, the Great Nature player swung at me with Blackboard Parrot, and I took a hit and drew a card, even though I wasn't supposed to. But we sorted that out ourselves, No one called any foul. I mean, before the game, he accidentally flipped over one of my cards while he was cutting. That's also
It's like
something that you can penalize, but I didn't.
But
care.
it's good to know that at least the players, for the most part, are
The
still.
players aren't calling each other on anything. It's just that the staff is watching the top tables like hawks. If you make any tiny mistake, I saw a Mega Colony player, I think.
In the top 8?
Well, not the
Oh,
top 8, but,
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
near the top tables at the end of the day, and he was fighting the blood. Drops his perfect guard, and the card, with the perfect guard, instead of putting the card you're discarding in the drop zone. So naturally, they intervene and go, well, you didn't discard anything, so you guarded for 0, and you're taking the hit. Whatever, and of course the dude was kind of pissed about it, and I was too, just looking at it.
I remember here. I think I saw that guy. He was pretty mad about it.
It's like, really, if
Yeah,
the two
it's-
players know exactly what the intent is, what's the harm?
Yeah, it's like
For
it's
situations
not
like
that
that,
hard.
there should be a warning at least.
He probably had a warning for it earlier, and that's why he. I'm
It's
not.
just it's like
100% sure.
it's like to take. And I know this is going to sound blasphemous, but let's look at Yu-Gi-Oh for a minute here with this. It's like
pretty much the same.
no. Wait, let me finish here. It's like most of the stuff is applied, and most players understand its order and stuff. With a threatening roar, it's like if they activate it, it's implied it's being done before the battle phase. It's like no one has to say, "I'm going to my battle phase. Are you going to do anything before I do?" It's implied that if I activate threatening roar, I'm doing it before your battle phase. It's like that. It's like there's not as much. You don't need as much communication with it, and we don't need it for this game either. It's just the judges think we do, or
And,
someone thinks we do, and it's not that necessary.
There was that, and there was a lot of, you get 2 verbal warnings for an error, and then you get a written one, and then if you ever repeat the written error, the error you got the written warning for anyway, you would get a game loss, and of course game loss in this environment is fatal, so.
It's true. No, it's talking about the region.
Admittedly, following proper procedure isn't hard.
It's not. It's
People are
just
just kind of lazy,
yeah.
and I get it.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's like certain things the judges should be able to just go through. It's like we know when you play the perfect card and you drop the card, what it means. It's like
I dropped the perfect card in guard with a grade 3 against you, and you know what I mean.
So yeah. After that completely ass-painting deck check, because who fucking does that? 8, and of course, deck gives up.
It's
Um,
just the curse.
I can't hit Crescent Moon 2 turns in a row, and that's a wrap, basically. He had that 20k line with Photon Bomber and Thunderstorm Dragoon going the whole time. He didn't get a great 3, but it didn't fucking matter. By the time I had mine, I was so hopelessly lost. It was whatever. So yeah, kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's true.
What can you do? So we just went off and did whatever. We didn't care to watch the top 8 at all.
Yeah, it didn't matter. We
Uh,
just went, they
We
buy
only
stuff.
say that because there was no one we were rooting for. So.
Ellie wasn't in the top 8. It's
I mean,
just,
aside from after LA dropped.
I think there were a couple of guys we kind of know that were like up there. They've been around this
I think so.
general area.
But it's not like anyone we like no, you know, we don't like talk to a whole lot.
I mean, they're cool. Just
This is just people we don't know very much, so it's like, whatever. With that being all said, though, we did.
card swag.
Yeah,
man.
we got some
Oh,
cards.
I've left my home.
It's okay.
I'll just tell you what happened all the time. That's right, you got those cards.
Yes, I did.
You should totally burn them for their insolence.
How's it going?
No offense, Bushra.
Another
Okay.
person appears.
Okay, well, anyone who got to like round 7 or 8, whichever
Everyone it was.
was handed one of each of the promos because they obviously didn't have time for the side events. And
I had time, so most of my fights were like 4 minutes
I
long.
would have, but I didn't want to stay in that line, so I had other people do it.
2 Vanguard, 3 Vice Shards, because
Man, they keep pushing their white swords on us.
But yeah, Shield Knight of the Clouds, and Peeping Dark Goat, and hot
Peeping
card right
Dark
here,
Goat.
just because it's not full bow. And what the hell are these things called? Fighting Against Fate Mami, Master of Golden Chief Saber, and
No.
Asuna in the back.
You know
I
need
think you
that
can
Nami
tell
card
which
now.
one we like the most here.
Yep, because they always
I'm
give
pretty
you
sure this was the play 4 games in the
Yeah.
just like Goat.
I
For
couldn't
reasons of
remember
obvious.
why.
Actually, what should she do?
And well, and then
Oh,
one,
wow, that's broken.
one of them is for like the workshop, and wait, we didn't get the workshop one. That was Asuna 2 Worlds or something.
I think so.
Oh,
But,
remember.
So
I was
don't know
barely
why
paying
they're at
attention.
3.
It's because they want this
We're
to be
actually
popular, even though they have
Hold on.
another card game coming out.
Stop putting overrated anime and overrated card games,
Where's
Well,
my
whatever.
Vanguard white swords?
There is one.
There is?
Ren is in that game.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh god.
He was a promo of some kind, I think, but
and
whatever. So yeah, these happen. I really kind of just want to burn one.
got
or
a lot of.
something.
I've got a lot of affordable.
Well, no, what you have to do, Elliot, burn one and then cut this one up here.
This is
Excellent.
going to me now. But for me, since Celestials are coming eventually, decided, you know what, I'm gonna copy pasta, essentially cut Sephiroth's deck for Break Ride Metatron. Got 2 of them for 8 at Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint. Yeah, I didn't bring mine.
I almost forgot I
Um,
had this. I should probably show all the promos while we're here.
Yeah, Graphite Cannon Dragons kind of.
Yeah. Asked around, got my
Oh
place.
god, where is he? Jesus.
You just give me the deck because he shows up all the time.
There, jeez. Freaking all these cards not in there at all.
Really.
Ah.
But anyways, yeah. This guy, that's your cheap overlord when you can search out bar, which you can. So. Oh, here's another
Oh,
one.
there he is,
A lot of people are calling it Cho'Gath from League of Legends. If you're one of those no life nerds.
Elliot calls him
No offense.
Trogtar.
I call everything cargo trapdoor.
You're a messed up man.
This is just the void that filled. No, this is just what filled the void in my heart when I had to get rid of Mini Break Wizard. But now I have to play Link Joker because Meteor Liger.
It's the card that makes Goku have a chance in this faster world, except for when Goku doesn't show up.
Nope.
Like he never does.
Apparently level 0s aren't allowed to have triggers on them.
Okay.
That's weird.
Um,
It's like the opposite of Vanguard,
yeah.
where your high grade things have triggers.
Zach was like, you should get SPC over 25. Dude, shiny disco ball.
Yes. So
And,
worth it.
Right when everything wrapped up, I gotta tell this story too. Saw SP Rio for 25. I'm not gonna find anything cheaper than that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try finding money because PayPal broke, so you can't use my debit card.
Of course it
I'm gonna
would.
try using ATM. Okay, that account doesn't work. That account doesn't work. Last account doesn't work. Damn. I'm gonna try again. Okay, it works now. Alright, I've got the money. Why are you selling the blood for $12 each?
I have to go get more money.
After it being denied twice. But
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I got 3 of the blood for Dungry of all things, and then SP Rio. And I forgot that I need SP Vert for memory.
Oh yeah,
sake,
for
Coral.
getting top 8, they gave you one of those Kai Dope mats. Because I totally needed another one. No, I just sold it to one of the vendors for 5 and then turned around and used that money to buy this SP Gwyn the Ripper.
Yeah.
'Cause
I was like, oh my gosh,
it's a
it's
steal, really.
Yeah, it's
And-
like, oh my gosh, it's 50 online. Yeah. How many people are buying those now? Especially when they make a descendant mat, which they are.
And it also looks like Elliot is looking to branch out a bit.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of decks I like, but you guys either like have them or are like in the process of building them, and I'm like, what else is there? And then I remember, oh, Booster 12. I kind of like 2 decks from that.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, Gwyn is just for the Ammon deck when it becomes a full thing.
Might as well get your Ammons now and then slowly build up your
Get
verse because
those amounts now.
Yeah,
SP
leave
only
it.
Amon.
Yeah. Damn, I didn't realize that reprint Ammon was just a vanity thing and not an actual reprint. Because SP only doesn't count, man.
being you need to worry about the most is just the booster 3 Ammon and then during the thruster. Because consistent 28,000 booster